Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Fairy Tail Chapter 377. Alright, and I like this chapter, I did. It started off where last week's left off, with Wendy entering Dragon Force, and she ends up taking complete control of all the wind in the area. Right, and her speed increased quite a bit too. She was so fast that it appeared that she just disappeared. I'm sure she wasn't as fast as, like, Flying Thunder God technique, like instantaneous movement, like teleportation and stuff. But I still can't tell, like, exactly how fast she was. Like, what was it, supersonic, or like, well, I don't know. But the point is that she was pretty fast, and she was able to get a few different blows in on Ezel. Then she tried to finish him off using Shattering Light Sky Drill, which was epic. Alright, and then Ezel actually ended up responding with Crescent Moon. Alright, and he cut the wind, because his cursed blades can even cut wind. So after that, he ends up entering Slash Attack Mode. Alright, Slash Attack Mode. And he continues to just cut any of the wind that Wendy sends at him. So Wendy tries to access her inner Natsu and just bring out power that she didn't even know she had. Just push herself all the way to her limits, go 120%. And she hits Ezel with she just sends more and more and more wind at him. And Ezel, he can still cut it. He can still cut it. It's just that whenever he cuts some wind, there's more right behind it coming at him. And there's just so much wind that he physically just can't keep up, essentially. Like, he's cutting it and he's cutting it, but there's just so much wind that he can't cut it all. He just doesn't have enough arms. He's just not fast enough to react. So he ends up getting pushed back and beaten, and Face ends up getting destroyed. Right? However, even though Face gets destroyed, the countdown continues, and Face ends up activating at the end of the chapter. Alright? And that's essentially everything that happens here. Personally, I actually liked this outcome. I thought that with the development that Wendy got last chapter, it only made sense that she beat Ezel here, because if she lost, it would pretty much negate the development that she got, which I didn't want. So I actually wanted her to win, which she did. But it's also good that Face activated, because being able to successfully stop Face might have been too much of a victory for Wendy. Like, her development was still meant something, because she was able to push herself to new heights and defeat Ezel. But it wasn't such a victory that now Tartarus is screwed, because their secret weapon that they were relying on is now done for, and now they just have to rely on their own strength, which should be enough to defeat some people in Fairy Tail, but there are just so many members in Fairy Tail that it's like, if Jackal lost to Natsu, I mean, I'm sure there are people. I mean, there are people like Tempesta there. He could just, do that technique he did before. Kyoka is still there. Silver, of course. Franmouth. There's still Keith is there too. There's still other members. Sarah. There's still other members of Tartarus there that can, like, fight. It's just that there are enough strong people in Fairy Tail to give them a run for their money, and there are enough weaker members of Fairy Tail who can fight them afterwards when they're tired, and then manage to get the victory. So, with pretty much everyone in Fairy Tail at the cube right now, the best possible choice is for Face to be activated. So I think that was, oh jeez, I think that was the right outcome with this chapter. So, I'll give this chapter, trying to decide between a 7.5 and an 8, because the chapter was actually kind of quick for like a 20-some page chapter. It was mostly action though, so like the action was good, I guess. So yeah, and I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was short, but that's due to the action. I kind of wish that the fight was a little bit longer, and maybe some of this stuff gets pushed to next week, but I'm fine with it. So I'll give the chapter an 8 out of 10, because the action was good, plus there was story development with Face being activated. Wendy was able to beat Ezel, which was good for her character. So yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Why not? And that's it for this review, guys. rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.